Hi, this is Beverly Ann Freeman from Cuba Clinic, and this is the second video talking about complementary therapies and cancer. So today we're going to talk about what type of things can increase cancer cell growth and possible causes of cancer. I think it's important not to get too caught up in what's caused your cancer if you've already been diagnosed and you are dealing with it at the moment. I think what's really important in your journey is just what changes do you need to make now to actually heal it. But in terms of preventing cancer, which is obviously prevention is always better than cure, there's a few things that you can keep an eye on. So the first thing is your stress levels. As we know, cancer cells feed on glucose and glucamine. So when we become stressed and we release stress hormones like cortisol in the body, it's our natural defense mechanisms actually taking charge and taking control of a situation. So back in the day, if you had a buffalo running at you and cortisol was released because it felt like a very stressful situation, this was actually a positive thing. But what it would do is it would help us to get ready for something like famine or danger ahead. It might be that in cave times in particular, there might not have been any help or assistance coming for some time. So the body went into survival mode. And one of the elements of survival mode in the body when we release cortisol is our blood sugar levels come up. And they come up for a reason. That's to help us to survive if there is famine. So when we are stressed, and of course everyday life can get stressful because of just the environment and the world that we live in, our blood sugar levels raise. So whether this causes cancer, it certainly feeds cancer cells, because as we know, cancer cells feed on sugar and glucose in the body. So if your blood sugar levels are raised, you're more likely to feed those cancer cells. The other thing that causes cancer is inflammation in the body. And the reason for this is because inflammation causes many different things in the body. One of the things it causes is an increase in oxidative stress. So that means that we are not releasing and clearing out as many toxins in the body. And cancer thrives in a very toxic environment. It also can damage our DNA. It can disrupt normal cell repair, and it can also weaken our immune system. It creates an environment where cancer can develop easily. Other factors are things like a poor diet, so eating refined and processed foods. Obesity puts you massively at risk of developing cancer. Smoking increases your risk of cancer. Lack of physical activity increases cancer. So there's actually quite a lot of things. Environmental toxins, heavy metals and microplastics have also been researched into their contribution to cancer development. So environmental toxins, I think, are the chemicals that are used around us. So things like air fresheners, if they're highly chemicaled and they're not necessarily an organic soya fragrance candle, then you really shouldn't be using these things. Dishwasher tablets, fabric conditioners that are going on our clothes, that are going next to our skin, hair dyes, toothpaste, I mean the list goes on. There's just so many toxins that we're just used to using on an everyday basis, we don't even think about it. Be aware, heavy metals contained in even in our saucepans, in tinned food, and microplastics. Everything in the supermarket seems to be vacuum packed or wrapped in plastic. Even organic vegetables and organic meat is wrapped in plastic. It's crazy. Try and buy from the butcher or from the fruit and veg department and put your food in paper bags, because that will reduce the amount of microplastics that you're consuming. Don't buy bottled water, just filter tap water. There's nothing wrong with our tap water, but it does need filtering, particularly if you've got fluoride in your area. So these are just a few things that you can do to either prevent cancer, or if you're in a position where you're trying to heal cancer now, just be super aware of them and don't create more of an environment that is going to feed those cancer cells. And there'll be more coming really soon.